Got it. So you saw the title, you decided to click, and I'm giving you a warning right now that your mental health will not be the same after this, and you're still watching. I don't know what to tell you, but good luck. Welcome back to another video. I have gathered many disturbing videos for us to watch. Towards the end, it gets way darker, believe me.
Thailand shut down its most famous and most popular beach for 4 years straight, and what came back is unreal.
In those crowds, it felt a lot less like heaven. So the authorities shut it down.
So basically, there's a beach in Thailand that's called Maya Bay, and it became the most famous beach on Earth after Leonardo DiCaprio filmed a movie there in 2000. And within just a few years, 6,000 tourists were showing up every single day on a beach that's only 15 meters wide. And then due to all the pollution that people were causing on the beach, by 2018, over 80% of all coral in this area was gone. So basically, Thailand went and shut it down completely, so no tourists, no people, no boats at all, and the plan was only 4 months at first. But whenever scientists were actually able to sit back and analyze all of the real damage that was caused, they expanded it to 4 years. And they gave up $300 million of tourism to shut it down. Within just 3 months of time, blacktip reef sharks actually came back to the area, and not only that, but they started breeding. And then scientists were able to replant over 30,000 coral fragments by hand to try to bring the area back faster. Fish populations were able to explode by 200%, and the water went crystal clear. They gave nature 4 years of silence, and it gave back.
An Air India flight bound for Canada had to turn around 4 hours after takeoff when they realized they sent the wrong aircraft. On Thursday, Air India Flight 185 departed Delhi for Vancouver on a 777-200LR. But there was only one problem. Air India is approved to fly the 777-300ER into Canadian airspace, but not the 200LR. So the flight continued normally for about 4 hours, flying east and entering Chinese airspace near Kunming. But then the mistake was discovered mid-flight. The plane was then forced to turn around after spending nearly 8 hours in the air.
Anyone else remember Skechers having a T in it?
Hey, let me know if I'm tripping or not, okay? I think this is some sort of Mandela effect. And the reason why I'm saying that, didn't the word Skechers had a T in it?
I feel like
I remember
it
when I was a
did.
kid seeing a T in the word Skechers.
Right
Tripping,
behind the
man.
C.
I know they do this stuff all the time to mess with us, but didn't Skechers have a T? Comment below if this is true or
Weird.
not. I need to know, man.
You remember seeing the video the other day at the Atlanta airport? This is the Houston airport today, where the TSA lines have resulted in a 150-minute wait time, and it snakes all the way around to the baggage claim. And if
It's
you're
like
just
going on a
normally
Disney
normal
ride.
thinking, not really paying attention to what's going on in the world right now, you'd be saying, well, okay, they're going to turn the government partial shutdown back on, and then everything's going to go back to normal. What if I told you we're in the middle of something right now with what's kicking off in the Middle East and what's happening here, that there's going to be a new normal, another new normal from the last new normal we saw in 2020. They're calling it Schmovid 2.0. Airports closing all over the place because of fuel in Asia, and then over here, they're not functioning properly because of the shutdown. Did you know, by the way, that there's a bit of a plan or an internet rumor, let's call it, that eventually air travel will be reserved for, well, let's just say, a club of people, which me and you are not in. And it's going to be tied to the new IDs they're trying to make, the digital one, where there's only a certain amount of resources you're allowed to use. This is when there's going to be a new economy. This is the plan, dude. It's coming around the corner, 2030. I don't know how much of this is an accident. Philippines, Vietnam, fuel shortages, India, natural gas, the Strait of Hormuz is closed. Every minute that thing is closed, it's going to be worse and worse. But do not fear, because they want you in fear. I know you may be thinking, but that was kind of scary what you just said. Well,
That's weird.
You can choose to be scared, but choose to not be scared, because whatever it is, put on the armor of God and you'll be all right. And don't take the mark, because that's coming. Now, we're on the cusp of something massive that is set to change the way society functions, by the way. That's the inside scoop, what people are saying, what's around the corner, and what might be planned. And I think there's never been a more important time in human history to be of sound mind and sound body. We know there's chemicals and toxins in the food and water supply which do weaken and alter our state of consciousness. And all that can be detoxified and rejuvenated. Okay, hold on a second. Did you guys hear that Drake partnered with McDonald's to launch a new kind of limited time meal that's he had something to do with, apparently. And it just so happens it's called the Afters Meal, and it has an owl on it. And they have Night Sprite. Now, the theme is supposed to be where night owls land. That's why there's an owl there. It's like the nighttime meal. Go have
OVO.
a McDonald's GMO, upside down, never decomposes, totally toxic meal after hours, I guess. But what it reminds me of is the other 40-foot stone owl which represents the ancient deity Moloch, which I'm not going to tell you what that deity is associated with, but it is very strange. And I can't help but think that there are some forces out there, some good and some evil, that are upon us right now. Do not eat McDonald's, by the way.
It's been 18 days since we last saw Benjamin Netanyahu live, and he's missed every daily press conference since then. He's also missed every security cabinet meeting since the war started. These are supposed to be led by him. And instead, all we're getting is unknown photos taken by unknown people posted on his social media. And who could forget the other day the cafe video where it proved he was alive, even though multiple things in the video such as this look AI. Look at the pocket just teleport. And of course, the pre-recorded press conference he gave the other day, he has 6 fingers on his right hand. And there's also the obviously AI photos of him greeting the Air Force. They're not even trying anymore. The weirdest part the other day in the video they posted to prove he's alive, it looks nothing like him. And every AI test came back and said 97%. Also, in the middle of war, what's he doing in a cafe in Jerusalem in the hills? If he had to make a video in a cafe to prove that he's alive, why won't he just hold a press conference like everyone else is? Trump speaks daily to the media. The Iranian president was walking in streets the other day in front of cameras. The only images we've gotten are from Netanyahu's office.
For the first time in history, an F-35 has been shot down, and here's how the Iranians did it. So the Iranians used a $10,000 K missile to take down a $100 million fighter jet, which is apparently the best in the world. They were able to track it down using this Chinese radar, which Western media claim to have been destroyed. So this thing uses low-frequency radar, which detects generally where the jet is, and this allows this cheap missile to use semi-active radar homing to lock onto the F-35 and take it down. And this fighter jet is so good that America doesn't even sell it to most of its allies. And the pilot didn't even see it coming because there were no flares or even basic...
I know y'all seen this video that went viral of this guy who looks just like Jeffrey Epstein driving a convertible in Florida. Well, apparently this isn't Jeffrey Epstein, it's Palm Beach Pete. Or at least that's what this guy's saying. A guy that was filmed that looks just like Epstein made a video. He's got social media now and everything. And he's saying he's not Jeffrey Epstein, he's Palm Beach Pete. He also went on a podcast and he's won like gold medals in tennis, but he won't say his real name. I just want to say, look at their ears real quick. Look at their ears. Palm Beach Pete and Epstein's ears. Now, ears are a lot like a fingerprint. Not one is the exact same, but theirs look a lot alike. And Mr. Pete put out another video where he's talking, and his teeth look a lot like Epstein's teeth above. But here's what everybody's talking about, is their voices. Here's Epstein.
It's compressed onto your iPhone. So what does compression mean? I'm taking lots of information, and I'm cutting it into lots of pieces and squishing it together.
Now, here's Palm Beach Pete's voice.
And my video went viral because some dude randomly filmed me while I was driving on I-95, unbeknownst to me. And the next thing I know, I'm a viral sensation. I had my phone down for about 4 hours, and didn't know my phone was blowing up with all the...
Now, do remember that the video of Epstein, he has a mic, he has a sound crew, all that. And Pete's is taken on his cell phone driving down the road. What do you guys think? Do you think Palm Beach Pete is telling the truth and he's not Epstein? That's even the name on his social medias, is not Epstein. Or what do you think? Because in my honest opinion, the Epstein files were just a slap in our faces, letting us know that all this stuff was real, everything that we thought was going on was actually going on, and there's absolutely nothing we can do about it, and none of these people are being charged for it. So why wouldn't they play?
What the hell did I just watch? I'm still trying to wrap my head around this documentary and how something like this even happens. If you have trust issues with people already, this documentary is going to make it worse. You can now add fear of somebody tricking you into murdering a world leader. In 2017, 2 girls, one from Indonesia and the other from Vietnam, thought they were being hired for a prank company. Like those videos you see in waiting rooms of people pulling weird pranks on other people. If you love documentaries, hit follow because I post daily and you'll always have something to watch. They were being coached to perform these different pranks, one of which was running up behind somebody in an airport and shoving something in their face. Little did they know that they were being trained to assassinate Kim Jong-un's half-brother. One moment they think that they're pranking people on YouTube, and the next moment they're assassinating a world leader. Not really world leader. Scary family, though. You can't make this shit up! Let me know what you think about this.
Movie that I think will win Best Picture this year, one battle after another. You know what it's about?
What is that?
Revolutions. Why did it come out of the Oscars this year to win?
There's a revolution going on right now.
Who's in it? Leonardo DiCaprio, bro. And it's so interesting that the whole theme of that movie is revolutionaries. It's revolution. And it sounds crazy to say this. The ideas of there's more of us than them. It's been told so many different ways, so many movies too. Hunger Games comes out and it's all about revolution. I think it's all for us to get excited and expel energy. That way, when it comes to the real we can't. We're gassed out and we can't fight.
Yo, that's war tactics, Sam.
What if they purposely put out those?
Oh yeah, 100%.
A man just got detained for breaking into Area 51 at nighttime, and he told officers that he is a NASA contractor investigating a time anomaly. So this is obviously insane, but this newly released body cam footage is showing a man being detained by security after driving into a restricted zone near Area 51 in the middle of the night. And what he told officers is genuinely one of the wildest things ever caught on camera. Whenever they asked why he was there, the man claimed that he was a NASA contractor and said that he drove to the base because of a time dilation anomaly. Dude, he said it completely calmly like he was giving a status report. He wasn't panicked or confused at all. He literally just straight up said, I'm here because of a time dilation anomaly.
Something about time travel or...
Not travel. Dilate. It's experiencing this time multiple times.
Okay. Now, to be 100% clear, none of this has even been verified yet because there is no confirmation that he actually works for NASA, and a time dilation anomaly is obviously a wild statement. The footage is 100% completely real, the body cam is real, and the way that this man speaks is what's making it go viral right now because he doesn't sound like someone that's making things up. So the question is, was this guy out of his mind, or does he know something that—
LeBron James was spotted carrying a purse, a Birkin to be exact, and people have a lot of different thoughts on it. Because this isn't the first time that he's carried a purse. It looks like he's carried a purse and also has worn a skirt with it. And fans are going wild because these photos are circulating, but these are past photos that we haven't seen before. I love this bag. I love the size of it. I feel like maybe it's a merce, like a man purse. But we know he has fashion, especially when it comes to bags. This brand is really popular. He got Louis here. But he doesn't only carry big purses, he carries small purses as well. So you would think that maybe he has a big purse to carry his basketball stuff, maybe some clothes, but he carries small purses as well. Like, I don't know what's fitting in this purse other than maybe a phone and some tissues, but we've seen other celebrities carry around Birkins as well, big ones where it's like, okay, reasonable because they have to carry a lot of stuff. Maybe I'm just old school or maybe I'm just a millennial, but seeing men carry purses blows my mind, especially small purses mainly. But I'm like, LeBron James, we need maybe a Vogue tour of your closet of the purses you have, because it's looking like it's giving you have a lot of Birkins. It's giving you're an elite customer, and a happy one at that. Am I just late seeing these photos, or is this news to—
The video I just showed you allegedly depicts the death of this man, Hugo Figueroa. Hugo was the nephew of famous Mexican singer Joan Sebastian, and Hugo was a rising name in the music industry in Mexico. About a year ago, when Hugo was traveling in Mexico, he was suddenly approached by 7 armed men in a place called Plaza de Toros, or La Aurora. Now, allegedly, the men that kidnapped Hugo were from the Los Viagras cartel, and it's been suspected that Hugo himself had ties to their rival cartel, the CJNG. There's more video that was released of Hugo's abduction that's simply too disturbing to show on TikTok, where masked men tell him you're not at home anymore, don't mess with the people of the hills, and they keep telling him to shut up and threatening him. Shortly afterwards, Hugo's dead body was found on the side of the road in an area close by. It's unknown exactly what Hugo was killed for, but this is just yet another reason why, if you already don't understand why, you do not mess with the Mexican cartels. And if you want to hear more true crime stories, listen to my podcast, Murder in America, that I co-host with my wife, Courtney. It's available on all streaming platforms.
Did you hear that last week they finally ran out of tricks to do on skateboards, and so now they're switching it up and they're doing tricks to fights, and so you can see them battle warrioring here, and I think it's kind of cool. So here he does a flip turn spin, lands it, and then he immediately gets into a fight, and so it's kind of like UFC mixed in with skateboarding. I'm curious if you think this is the right direction that skateboarders moving towards, or do you disagree with it?
Scientists have now officially discovered that a single tea bag releases 11.6 billion plastic particles into your cup.
What we found was that there are billions of micro and nano particles of plastics coming out of the tea bag.
So basically, these scientists just tested what happens whenever you steep a plastic tea bag in hot water at normal brewing temperature. They actually removed the tea leaves so that they wouldn't interfere with the project, and they heated the empty bag and then put the water in an electron microscope. One bag, one cup, they found 11.6 billion microplastics and 3.1 billion nanoplastics. That is nearly 15 billion particles from a single cup of tea. UK, are you okay? An official review that was published in Food Chemistry found that even bags labeled cellulose or biodegradable still release significant amounts. They found that many of the standard paper-looking bags are sealed with a heat-resistant plastic that holds the seams together in hot water, so whenever water boils it, it releases. The math is mathin'. Now this is the part that most people don't think about because nanoplastics are small enough to pass through your intestinal wall and enter your bloodstream. That's why microplastics are a problem. The researchers that are handling this entire project said that the plastic levels in tea were thousands of times higher than what's been found in other foods.
Quick pause. I put this pause towards the middle of the video for my real viewers. If you're still watching, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Please let me know what else you guys would like to see on this channel, other type of content, other types of topics, because I'm all ears. That was it. Let's get into it.
Wake up, Tel Aviv. The Iron Dome is not what you need. We're at day 18 and the missiles keep getting through. You would think that the Iron Dome just sitting here in the sky would at least try to hit something. That was actually a missile. That was actually a missile. That's right, because the Iron Dome is not even in the sky as much anymore. And I didn't even bring up the facts that rockets are coming out of Lebanon like every 20 minutes. Yet again, no interceptors. And these are missiles and flashes in the heart of Tel Aviv City. But don't worry, guys, everything is going great in Tel Aviv. I'm sure the air defenses in Saudi Arabia... Oh yeah, that's the biggest oil refinery in the capital. Well, Qatar has the biggest American Air Force base, and it's on fire. Oh, and rockets are somehow reaching the Israelis in Gaza. That's a new one. Everything is doing so good, even the aircraft carrier is getting the hell out of the Middle East. Oh yeah, Bahrain's on fire. The Strait of Hormuz is still shut. Rockets are reaching Gaza. Oil refineries everywhere are destroyed. This is not going very well for the Israelis. Follow me for more.
This is why it is so shocking that Iran hit a $100 million F-35, one of the most advanced fighter jets on Earth. These planes are geometrically designed to be incredibly hard to detect on radar. That's why they're called stealth aircraft. Their shape actually scatters the radar signals instead of sending them straight back to the receiver, which makes it really hard for radar to see them. And they're made of radar absorbing material that turns the radar energy into heat, which is so cool, instead of just reflecting it back. It's because their weapons are stored on the inside of the aircraft. There's no external objects creating extra radar reflections, unlike older aircraft. Plus, they can jam enemy radar. They can also detect where radar signals are near them so they can avoid them. They're just so high tech. So even with the most advanced radar systems, F-35s are usually only detected as a faint, unclear signal, not like a precise targetable location. So that brings us to today, 3 weeks into the war, and Trump has said Iran is totally defeated militarily and that the U.S. has destroyed 100% of Iran's military capability. If that's true, then how did Iran manage to hit one of the most advanced fighter jets on Earth? Because that does not sound like they are totally defeated. Luckily, in this case, the pilot made an emergency landing and is safe, but the aircraft itself sustained some damage. We here at News Girls will be following this and all the other updates coming out of Iran, so follow to...
People are not actually mentally prepared for the darkest things that happen in history, so let's test your mental strength. We are going to be talking about Russia's one and only cannibal island, Nazino Island. In the summer of 1933, Stalin wanted to get rid of all the, undesirable people, so he took 3,000 people off the streets, most of them city dwellers, so they didn't know how to survive out there in the woods. He took these thousands of people, dropped them on Nazino Island with no food, no water, nothing. He put armed guards around the waters to make sure that they didn't escape, and if they did try, they would be pew-pewed. Eventually, the weather got really bad, like rain, sleet, snow, just unsurvivable temperatures. Stalin, out of the kindness of his heart, right? He sent in old, moldy, dry rye flour that they would just put in bags, like by the river, and let the people fight over. The unlucky souls on Nazino Island would take this flour, put it in the water, and try to eat it, because if they were to try to eat it dry, it would literally suffocate them. When that wasn't enough, eventually the strongest started to hunt the week, and rumors spread that people were eating other people on Nizino Island. It only lasted, like the experiment, it was quite literally an experiment, only lasted 13 weeks because of how bad it was. And when they got to Nizino Island to evacuate people, what they saw was otherworldly. I'm talking limbs hanging from trees. I'm talking bones with the flesh ripped off of them. There was a lady that got transported off the island and she had chomps out of her calves. She was like, they attempted to eat her alive. Absolutely horrendous. But yeah, y'all, that is Russia's Cannibal Island. Nobody ever talks about it for some freaking reason. So I had to make a video on it naturally.
That's
If you like
crazy.
to hyperfixate on random things, you have met your people. So
Oh
make
my
sure you like and
God.
follow, comment down below if y'all knew about this. Thinking in the next episode, we talk about Scott.
Trump is planning to replace TSA agents with ICE agents. He says this will occur tomorrow, Monday, if funding for the Department of Homeland Security isn't reached. If you're unaware, this partial government shutdown thing has left TSA officers without pay for over a month, which means the TSA lines have been insane. And Trump said, quote, ICE will do the job far better than ever done before. I guess we'll see what happens tomorrow.
If you're a young parent, this is incredibly serious as there's a massive nationwide warning for a specific type of children's medicine that you definitely need to know about. So the company responsible is called Strides Pharma, based out of India, but they distribute it all over the United States. It's directed for children ages 2 through 11 to be able to reduce pain as well as fever. And what they found inside of these bottles is crazy, saying that the bottles contained a gel-like mass and black particles in the liquid. Just don't forget about this packaging here because this is the exact product that is being pulled from the shelves everywhere right now. Make sure you're sending this to anyone that has small children as well because this comes in a only 4 fluid ounce bottle and these are the lot numbers as well as the expiration date. A lot of people may not even know this is happening, but the fact that the expiration date is January 31st of 2027 means that they need to find out before they end up using the bottle on their child. The company has also failed to be able to specify exactly how this black gel-like substance as well as particles ended up in these bottles, but they're not answering any of the questions that people are asking them. I keep you guys updated about the most important things happening in the news, especially when it can be something this serious, so be sure to add me and come back tomorrow.
These fishermen off the coast of Long Island were in for a treat and a hoot and a holler when they were catching that tuna you can see there. They said it's the biggest tuna they've ever caught, so they were thrilled. And then the great night shark you can see goes after it and jumps right into the boat. Great night sharks are known to jump, especially when they're attacking their prey. They can go about 20 yards up into the air, and so jumping onto this boat was no problem for this little fella. You can see they're quite scared, but they said when it finally calmed down, they were like, this is super cool, and they cared what was happening. They didn't want the great night shark to die of fatality death, so they said they bear hugged it as tightly as they could and slowly lifted it and got it back over the railing into the water. One of the guys there, Chuck Stunton, said that one of the toothages nicked him, and so it did cut him. He said he had to get 4 stitches, but it will leave a scar that he can tell a story about for a lifetime, is what he said. And so, you know, the ocean is full of surprises, but I bet most of us will never have a great night shark jump onto our boats.
Sometimes people think if their closet door opens slightly at night, it's just air pressure or the house settling. That's the mistake. If you're in your bedroom late at night and notice your closet door slowly opening on its own, do not walk over close to it immediately. Stay where you are and watch it first, because doors sometimes move, but they don't usually stop halfway. First, watch the gap. If the door opens just enough for the darkness inside the closet to be visible, but never swings fully open, do not step close to it to push it shut. Most people close it out of habit. That's when they realize something strange. Second, listen to the door. If you hear a soft shift coming from the inside the closet, but none of the hanging clothes move, do not crawl out. People who ignored this rule all said the same thing later. The sound didn't come from the clothes. It came from the floor behind them. Third, turn off your bedroom light. Do not stand facing the closet. If your closet door suddenly opens wider, the moment the room goes dark, do not look back. Because when the closet door opens at night, there's usually a reason. Something bumped them, air moved them. But if the door opens slowly and stops halfway, like something inside is holding it there, it usually means something in the closet is waiting to see if you'll come closer.
Is Palm Beach Pete secretly Jeffrey Epstein? Let's find out. So for one, this guy by the name of Palm Beach Pete is just mysteriously coming out of nowhere and looking identical to Jeffrey Epstein. Somebody took this video of him driving down the freeway and it looked exactly like Epstein. People thought it was AI. And then the person stepped forward and claimed that no, he's actually Palm Beach Pete, not Epstein. And at first everyone believed him, but then he came on an interview with TMZ and said he used to party with Epstein. And in the interview, he kind of showed his teeth, right? And if you look at the pattern of his teeth, now if you compare his teeth to the teeth of a photo that was found in the Epstein file, they are identical. And this has not been edited. You can find both of these photos elsewhere. So, I mean, come on, people. You can't change the teeth. What are the odds their teeth are perfectly throwing up gang signs the same way? And I mean, you know, Epstein was already old a long time ago. This is how he looked. That was like his mugshot. So he was already aging. Now imagine no Botox, no facial reconstruction. Take a few years, you got Palm Beach Pete, man. People are saying they're both Jewish. They sound the same. They look the same. They're from the same part of Palm Beach. They attended the same parties, likely to be around the same age. If it looks like a duck and it acts like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably Epstein or Palm Beach Pete. But I mean, like, if this man is still alive, this would be the ultimate form of gaslighting, to literally make us question our sanity and just do a victory lap and smile in our faces. But yeah, is Palm Beach Pete Jeffrey Epstein? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. My name is AT. I cover news on the internet. I just got banned at 5.7 million followers because they're trying to silence me. So please follow so I get back up, and I'll see you guys in the next video. But you're not fooling anyone.
That video was taken moments after this woman in the video allegedly discovered a truck full of children's corpses. So according to the story, this woman worked as a truck inspector in Mexico. And one day while she was performing her duties, a truck driver pulled in. She noticed he was acting tense and visibly nervous. And when she approached the truck, she noticed the back door was open. And when she inspected the interior of the truck, she was disturbed. She claims she saw hundreds of children's bodies, all stacked on top of each other in a massive pile. She claimed that there was blood soaked into the floor, and she even saw garbage bags lying around the sides filled with children's limbs, arms, legs, and even heads. She then stumbled to the side, started telling people what she had seen, and thus this infamous video clip was born. Now, this was first posted on Facebook back in 2019, but curiously, there's been no update on what happened here. In fact, just trying to find any information about this video or incident is nearly impossible on the internet. You can see here I tried my hardest to find info and it just wouldn't pull anything up. There have been similar incidents though where trucks have been stopped and inspected and people's bodies were found in the back. This has happened multiple times actually. I saw people online claiming that this woman was found dead just a day or two after this video went viral, but I couldn't find any official confirmation of that happening. It wouldn't surprise me though, because as you probably know, whistleblowers who try to save children usually end up dying in mysterious ways. But this is a really disturbing problem. I actually interviewed someone a few weeks ago who told me that when he was investigating sex crimes against children in Mexico, he was told about a black market in the city of Juarez where people could just walk up and buy children in broad daylight. He also told me of cases that he'd either worked on or been informed about where parents had literally sold their children to traffickers because they couldn't pay the rent, they couldn't pay for food. So a truck being discovered full of children's bodies doesn't necessarily surprise me, and it isn't out of the realm of possibility. What is interesting, though, is the concept that these children had been butchered or carved up, because that is a known thing that is happening today. In today's world, this is not a conspiracy. Organ harvesting and organ trafficking, especially on the black market. I mean, that's a concept that's well known. There's even videos on YouTube of organ traffickers being interviewed by people like National Geographic. And I actually just did a video last month where I interviewed a guy who's been convicted of murder. It's a whole thing. But he took us to a castle in France, showed us a lot of occult symbolism that's within the castle wall, and discussed with us how he knows through insider information that there are rituals and sacrifices being performed at this castle where the blood of children and innocents is being harvested and then used in some form of magical or...
A new FBI report from the Epstein files has revealed that huge amounts of paperwork were shredded just 6 days after Epstein's 2019 death at MCC in New York.
What a surprise. People are hiding
I'm going to read the
Wow.
crisis intake document from the FBI that comes directly from the Epstein files to you. So you're not just reading sensationalized news reports, but the actual document. There's a lot of redactions. I know it's annoying. Bear with me. Redacted is a federal corrections officer reporting misconduct. He works in MCC, New York, Federal Bureau of Prisons. CEO has never seen this amount of bags of shredded documents coming out to be put in the dumpster at the rear gate of the MCC. Last week, Epstein hung himself, and there is an ongoing investigation. There was a BOP after actions team that come, and they are supposed to review what happened. Redacted. There was an inmate named Inmate. He is a redacted worker. Another inmate who works back there who helped the other inmate, I'm guessing, is redacted from the same unit. He helped Redacted throw the bags of shredded documents into the dumpster. Redacted was bringing back bags of shredded papers, around 4 or 5 bags, and Caller brought them into the gate to throw into the dumpster. Redacted told Caller that the after action team is shredding huge amounts of paperwork. Caller found it suspicious that an after action team charged with investigating would be shredding huge amounts of paperwork with all of the officials from AIG, FBI, and BO in the building in the middle of an investigation. Those giving instructions to Redacted said, make sure you get that box too. The next day, today, Friday, August 16th, same inmate, Redacted, brought another bag of shredded materials, and Redacted said they had him helping to shred the material. Today he reported that he has to do it because he doesn't want to get in trouble if he refuses. He said they were very nice to him, but they wouldn't let him leave the area. The dumpster containing all of these shredded documents gets picked up Monday. Redacted reports that if anyone cares about what was shredded, it needs picked up before Monday by 8 a.m. Redacted stated that one of the staff employees said, "This isn't the first time I've had to do things like this." Thursday was the first report of shredding by Redacted. Redacted reiterated that inmate witnessed the shredding, not Redacted. So this is definitely problematic, to say the least. We don't have a reason for them doing this. We just have the document saying